Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out Red, Yellow, Sabo. Red, Yellow, Sabo on the sim. We got 5 games we're going to go through, and then we're going to check out the deck at the end of the video. We are going to have one spoiler card we're going to talk about coming out in the future, because when we do start talking about the deck, I want to show you guys. I've tried the Revolutionary Army variant of this deck, and I have not had success with it. Maybe someone out there has a better list I could try, but I have not had any success with like specifically the Revolutionary Army version of the deck, running like Bello Bettys, Ivankovs, and all that kind of stuff. The version I'm running here that you're about to see, it does have 2 EB01 cards in it, but that's it for all the new stuff that we don't have yet. Because for those who are not aware, this deck comes out in about 2 weeks at the time of recording this video over here in the West for us. So this deck is right on the horizon. It's only about 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away or so. And then we're going to be able to play this exact deck that you see that I'm going to be playing and piloting today. But 2 of the cards in here will not be out for another month or so, month and a half, maybe 2 months, because they come from EB01. And that's Flampy, a 1-cost 2K counter, and Kid and Killer, which is this new super powerful, potentially 4-cost 7K rusher. So, and I'll kind of talk about that as we get to in the video. But that's what we're getting into today, guys. Red, Yellow, Sabo. Y'all know what you're getting into. I'll try to timestamp things down the bottom so you know where to hop to, where to skip to. You know, if you want to move around during the video and see what matchups you want to look at, or just the deck tech at the end of the video. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. First game up here. Let me make sure the sound's off. Speed's at 2x. Yep, and we're good to go. So first game here, I'm going first against a green, yellow Yamato, and I am starting off with Flampy. Flampy is absolutely incredible, guys. It's a 1-cost 2K counter that can also draw a card from your life and draw a card from your deck at the same time. So 1-cost, draw 2, we'll take it every single time. Looks like the Yamato player is playing some type of Landawano variant of green-yellow Yamato. Not sure why they played out that 2-cost card there. I'm swinging at 5 at them right now. That 2-cost card on the board, for those who don't know what that is, on my opponent's side, that is a 2-cost 2K counter, 0-power card that has trigger play this card, and when on play, your leader gets plus 1,000 power for the rest of the turn. Okay, so I swing for 5, they take it, I drop down Zoro, I swing 5 again. I'm running a hyper-aggressive version of the deck, and you're going to see that in these games. Like I think I'm running like 16 rush cards. I think I'm running 4 Kid and Killer, 4 5-cost Luffy, 4 5-cost Ace, and 4 Zoros. Just super aggressive list. Okay, he swings 5 at me. I 1K counter out of this, because the only reason I didn't want to take, I would normally want to take a hit from a leader, but I don't want to take 2 hits at once. That puts me on too much of a, too fast of a clock, so to speak. Okay, but I can gain life in this deck, which is really nice. Okay, so the idea now, from this point in the game onward, I feel like once you get to about 5 to 6 Dawn, you want to start gaining life. And I'm not sure if I do it here or not. No, I'm not able to do it this turn. I just go 5 at life, 6 at life, 6 at life here. And I'm just trying to put on pressure on my opponent where they're going to have to answer my board. Like, you guys know how this game is. If you're presenting enough threats and enough like lethality to your opponent, they have to answer you or try to race you. That's the only 2 options, right? You can't quite just ignore it unless you're trying to race them. And who knows, Yamato might be the kind of deck that can race because of double attack. Because notice, my board's wide open. I don't have any blockers. But if he swings all out at my face here to try and race me, well, he doesn't develop his board at all. And I've got 4 bodies to his... well, now he has 4 as well because he just played a card. Okay, so he played out that 3-cost guy, used the leader effect to attach 2 to the other 3-cost guy. He has a Kawamatsu, and he's going to swing 7 at leader. Okay, and he did trash 2 cards from hand to gain a life with that effect by putting that. So now we know why he is running that other card, the 2-cost 2K counter. He basically gained a life with it. So not bad, right? I guess that's interesting. I'm not sure how good this version is ultimately compared to the more aggro versions or the more fortress versions of Yamato, but we at least get to see why he was doing that. Because at first I was like, what is this guy doing? He's trying to keep up with life, or keep up in life against me. But this turn, I am going to definitely go back up to 3 life. Right, there's pretty much no reason I shouldn't. I'll go 7 here. I played this a little bit incorrectly. I should have waited to swing with my... okay, I was waiting for his trigger to see if he got a trigger. I don't think he did. I was waiting... I probably should have swung with the ace first Because, see, watch what that'll do. So, okay, I use my effect. I swing 6 at leader. We already know what's in his life. There's no reason to, like, oh, what if he gets a KO? No, we know what it's going to be. Okay? So then I use my leader's effect to put Ace on the top of my life, and I give my Zoro plus 2,000. I should have done that in the other order where I swung with Ace first to get the plus 2,000 to swing with, but ultimately it didn't matter in this situation, but that was the correct play. At least to do the most damage. You know, if I'm trying to get cards out of his hand, then I did it the right way. But if I'm trying to do the utmost amount of damage per turn, then I should have done it the other way around. Okay, so he just played that 2-cost card. I can't remember what... Let me see if I can see the name from here. It is... Tonoyasu, I think it is Tonoyasu. That gives him plus 3,000 power for the turn when you play that card. So he swings for 12. He gets 2 life from me. But again, since I went up a life last turn, I'm not really worried about that. I'm you know, I know I'm safe. So now he's contemplating, should I attack his board or attack his life? And, you know, the answer is it doesn't matter because there's no way he can survive next turn. He only has 2 cards in hand. He's got that, he got that, is that Hiyori? I believe that, yeah, that's, it's not the 2-cost Hiyori that we just got from OP06. It's the one from, I think it's from the starter deck, from the Yamato starter deck, I believe. Okay, and right here I've got a full grip of hands. I've got 5 rush cards in my hand. I've got, you know, 3 legitimate bodies on the board if you're talking about my 2 Zoros and my, my Sabo leader. But watch this. Play out Ace for 5. Attach 1. Throw him back at top of my life. Give a Zoro plus 2k. Play him again. Give my leader plus 2k. And we're coming in for like 7, 7, 7, 7, 6. That's what we were coming in for at the end there. So very solid, you know, really good stuff there. All right, on to the next game. I really enjoy this leader. Like, this is a leader that I cannot wait to play more of. All right, speed, 2x. There we go. So now we're going against a green Uda deck. This is the, you know, the ST11 green starter Uda deck. And this is a good deck, I will say. I play Uda on the sim every now and then, and I really enjoy this deck. It's very mid-rangey. It's almost like, I don't know, if I was going for the best mid-range deck in the format, I would probably be going for Katakuri, but this deck is also really fun to play and very strong. Excuse me. So I did a Garp search on turn 1. Turn 2, I don't have a follow-up play, so I just go 5 and 5 at their leader, yeah, at Uda. He goes 5 in the Garp. Sure, you can have it. He basically worked as a 1k counter there, a searcher, and damage. That Garp got about 3 cards worth of value there, right? Because he countered out of an attack, he drew me a card for the turn, and he attacked for 5 to get a card out of my opponent's hand or life. I can't remember. Well, life, I guess, clearly, because they're at 3 life. So that card got so much value. He plays out his Nami, and okay. So right here, I'm thinking about setting a card in my life. So I set the Luffy here, and then I play it out with the 2-cost Luffy. So that way I can, you know, get some damage in, basically. So, you know, swing 7 at life with the 5-cost Luffy, and I'm going to swing 7 at life with my leader. Okay, and they just tap out there. So, unfortunately, that was just a really quick game. And I will say at that point, it's a pretty uphill battle from there. And that happens on the sim, guys. That's why I try to do 5 games today, like 2 more than I normally do. Because every now and then you get a player that just quits on you. It happens, you know. But I was in a pretty good position in that game, I'm not going to lie. Because you see what happens, right? When I drop Luffy like that, number 1, I'm at 7,000 power on my leader, so they can't even attack into me. And if they want to, they can't even attack into my Luffy unless they want to attach, you know, their entire turn's worth of Dawn next turn, because I'm just going to counter out of it. Okay. Next game, we're going against Black-Yellow Luffy. This is kind of a scary matchup, I'm not going to lie. This is a potentially scary matchup for Red-Yellow Sabo. I think Black-Yellow Luffy is slightly favored in this matchup, but I do think that this version of Sabo can, you know, sneak wins against Luffy. One card that I'm not running that I probably should look into running in the future, like in this deck, one of the few changes I would actually suggest making to this version of the deck. Okay, he's going to swing 8 at me. I'll take it because, you know, I actually don't mind losing life. But I could... No, I'll say I don't think I counter out of this. But anyway, sorry, back to what we were saying. I should probably run Shiraya, like as a 2 or a 3 of in the deck. Maybe try to make room for Shiraya. Because I do think, like maybe... I don't know. It's hard to say because I just think the card is very strong. And it offers a lot. Like it's one of those, like against Luffy, for example. If they're trying to get to, you know, 9,000 base power in their leader... Okay, well, late in the game, I can just play out Shiraya, and now they can never leave their leader with less than 1 life. you know, where they're at 0 life, they can't do it because I can just match it and put all my Dawn on and just run them over. Okay, so I'm just going all face here. I'm like, go ahead, man. I'm going to leave you at 2 life. You've got, look at this. He's got 3 Dawn this, or excuse me, he should have 5 Dawn this turn. Yeah, so he's got 5 Dawn this turn, and he's at 2 life. So yeah, he can do some tricks here and there. Okay, he does Hiyori to set one of his top life cards. That makes sense. What you should do is you should set it for, like, you know, the 5-cost guy, play out a 2-cost guy, so you get the effect from it. He gets a Sabo, well played. Now his leader's 2,000 for the turn. He has a blocker. He can draw 2, trash 2. And he's got 1 Dawn left. He'll probably go 8 into my Zoro. The right play here is to go 8 into my Zoro. Okay, let's see what he does. Okay, he's still doing the cycle with his Sabo effect. Swing 8, yep, takes out my Zoro. This is something I probably could have considered. Yeah, I think I counter out of this. Because it's like, okay, you know, I could just, you know, use my "you're the one who should disappear" event here in a 1K, but no, okay, I do let it go. I was saying I don't remember saving that because I don't know. There's an argument to save the card there. There's definitely an argument because then I could just go 7/7/7s here and it would be pretty decent. Because watch, so what I probably should have done. Hang on, I'm about to play out my ace here. So play out the ace. If I had defended the Zoro, right? If I defend the Zoro there, I have 6 Dawn. I play out ace. I swing for 7 with ace. I attach 1 Dawn to my leader. Swing for and then give 2,000. Excuse me, I messed it all up. Put ace on the top of my top of my deck. What is the speed at? Oh, sorry guys, we're not at 2x speed. My apologies. So I end up just playing out the Luffy instead, though. Like the more aggressive play, and like I said, there's definitely an argument for it. Is if I save the Zoro, then I play ace out that turn. I swing 7 with ace, put him on top of my life, my leader's effect with the 1 Dawn I have left, and then give my Zoro plus 2,000 for the turn. Swing 7 again at his face, and then I can't swing with my leader because it's only 6,000 into a 7,000 power leader. But again, I do think there's an argument for that. Okay, 7,000 at my face here. I've got the you know, the 0 cost 3K counter. Trashing Momonosuke, getting another one from life. So right here, I'm like, so how much counter power do you have here? Yeah, no way. Let me see how many cards he had in hand. So he has 5 cards in hand. He's at 7,000 power, and I swing for, let me see. So 5 cards in hand. Oops, it's not moving. There it goes. 14. He would have to have, what, 2... If he had 3 2K counters, that would put him at 13K. He would have to have 4 2K counters out of the 5 cards he has in hand, or 3 2K counters and 2 1K counters. That's the only way he survives that turn there. That's it. And he did not have it, as you can see here. He had a bunch of 1Ks and 2K and a Gecko Moria. Okay, so good stuff there. That's why Luffy's very good, and Shiraiya would have also been almost as good, but Shiraiya wouldn't have been quite as good because it doesn't get around the blockers. Luffy does, though. Luffy says, I don't care about your blockers at all. Okay. All right, now we're going to get another Uda deck. Let me remember to put this on 2x speed this time. Sorry, guys. All right, we're on 2x speed. Volume's off. Did it actually? Yeah, okay, just making sure. So this game, I start off with a Garp Search. That is a pretty ideal start, I will say. Got a bunch of Luffys. Is that Luffy? I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to see it. Yeah, Monkey D. Luffy. He attacks me. I'm running the Satori 2K counter. And I'm running a hyper-aggressive version of this deck. I'm pretty sure I'm running Kikonojos. I'm running Satori, like I said. I'm running the Momonosuke package. It just has a lot of gas. This deck has a lot of gas, and whenever you attack into my life, you're potentially being punished. And I have ways to gain life, you know. So right here, I swing 5, 5, 6. Okay, you know, your turn. The amount of aggression that I just had right there was, you know, monstrous. And now instead of them having to attack my life, they need to start clearing out the board or it's all over. Because I actually don't mind taking life in this deck, right? Because I'll gain it back. Now, you do have to be careful taking life against Uda because she can double attack you, triple attack you on some turns with I'm Invincible, the event. But right here, yep, plop down ace, swing 7. He blocks out, swing 5, swing 6, or excuse me, swing 7, and then, so it was 7, 7, 6 that turn. Very, very strong attacks. He attacks me for 5. I'm like, okay, just block, block, and then take one of them. Plays out the 7 cost Luffy to get another body on the board. But ultimately, guys, I'm not scared of that card, right? Because I think 7's probably going to just be my average attack here. So swing 7. Okay, let's see what he does. He blocks with it, counters out, and then attach that. rinse and repeat, right? As long as I lose 1 life a turn, it's really not a big deal. Okay, 7 at face, and then 8. Let's see what I do here. Yeah, swing 8. I think I go for the Brook. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't want to get too greedy here, because if he counters out of that, he's got the 3 bodies. But he ended up countering out of it to save the Brook instead. So it was kind of one of those, it didn't matter where I swung, he was going to counter out of it, because it was a 5k target both ways. Okay, swing 7 at my guy. Now, that's pretty easy to counter out of, right? It's like, do you want to give me your blocker, or do you want to keep investing Dawn into this turn? How do you want to do it? But I think I should, I don't know. Looking back, I probably should have just let it go. But at the same time, it looks like I'm not going to get punished too much for it. He swings 5 at life. I'll counter out of one of them. Okay, take that one. And I'm kind of tempting him to swing in with his Luffy there. That's why, that's why I did things the way I did. Okay, and then I just throw everything on Luffy. Okay, this is another situation. If you do the math, he has to have all 2k counters in hand and a 1k, or that's pretty much it, right? Because I'm swinging for 11k. So he has to have every single card in his hand. So 2 would put him at 7, 2 more at 9, 2 more at 11, and then he has to have 1 more 1k to get over the threshold to survive, or another 2k, of course. The chances are, slim to none that people have that at this stage of the game. Especially when last turn he aggressively countered out to save his Brook. So there you go, another game against Uda. And we got one more game here against another black-yellow Luffy. This is not the same game. Let me get on 2x speed. Okay. Alright, so another black-yellow Luffy game. And I have the Luffy in hand, by the way. I have the red Luffy in hand to just get past his blockers when he's at 0 life. And that's kind of... So I guess maybe this deck does have a slight advantage against black-yellow Luffy. I'm not exactly sure. And because I'm playing on the sim, it's very hard to run into the matchups that everyone wants to see, right? Like, Sakazuki. I played against a Yamato, but Sakazuki, Gecko, Moria, you don't always run into them. It's just total, it doesn't always happen. Okay, so here I swing 5 and 5, and he actually doesn't take any of it, which was very, very surprising to me as a black-yellow Luffy player, because you want to lose life pretty quickly, not super quickly, but you want to lose life pretty quickly. And that's when I knew that he must have set his life with the Hiyori to, to get what he's about to get here. So swing 5, kills that, or KOs my Garp, and then he doesn't use the Luffy. And I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, well, what's going on here? Like, why wouldn't you? So I swing 6 in life, and he takes it. So it's like the whole purpose of that Hiyori, I don't quite understand, because he used a Luffy to counter out of an attack, and then he has a Luffy on the board. Anyway, who knows? It is a complicated deck to play. I've told you guys that before. The black-yellow Luffy deck is a very complicated deck to play. Okay, here's finally a game where I get down my Kikinojo. Kikinojo is a very strong card, guys. It is very nice. Okay, so he swings, 6 at life. I take it, swing 5. I think I give him a 1k here. I'm not too worried to get rid of those 2-cost 1ks in this deck. It's not like black-yellow Luffy where you need those. Those are just extra value cards later in the game for me if it comes up. But I don't have any issue with, countering out with those early. Alright, so he got me with a beige trigger there where I couldn't attack with my Sabo. That's fine. And he's running beige. So that was another indicator of like, wait, what is this guy running? I was very confused by this. Okay, so swing 7 at life with a good old-fashioned rush ace. This new ace card's incredible. And then I attach... okay, I did that in the wrong order. I should have swung 9 with ace, but it went through anyway. But technically, that's what I should have done. Attach 1 to leader, play out ace, put my Kikinojo back on top of my life, because when he attacks me, he's coming in a play for free now. And then swing 9 with ace, and now he's a 9,000 power character on my opponent's turn. You can't even attack it, right? You can't even go for it. Okay, Katakuri, again, so this list, that is one thing I love about the sim. It's a place for you to try things out and try new things out on the sim. See what kind of decks you like, see what works and what doesn't work. And I don't think this is the kind of list you want to run for Black-Yellow Luffy with Katakuris and stuff like that. It just doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me. But who knows? Maybe, hey, let him cook, right? Let him try new things out. Maybe he's onto something, but he's just not quite there yet. So play out a 4-cost 7k rush character. Seems good every time. And this card comes out in EV01, guys. This is the Kid and Killer card. That is a 4-cost 7,000 power rush card if your opponent has 2 or less life cards. Okay, and then so let me pause. So in this situation, it was going to be swing. So it was swing 7 with my Kid and Killer, swing 7 with Kikinojo, play out my Rush Zoro, put my Kikinojo back on top of my life, give my Zoro plus 2k, swing 7 with Zoro, and then swing 6 more with my leader. You know, it's just very, very solid. You know, this deck, it felt very good to play. This was a very good deck to play. Okay, so that's it for the games. Let's go ahead and check out the deck now. Kind of put the glasses on and analyze the deck a little bit. So this is the list that I'm kind of messing with. This was not in the playtesting you guys just saw. Oh gosh, what did I have here? Oh man, I don't know what I had right here, guys. Oh, Garp, excuse me. So this Kurasu is supposed to be Garp. Let me just replace that real quick. Yellow. There we go. Sorry. I've been messing around with trying to get some extra value, because one thing I noticed was Garp was good, but he only has 16 targets in this deck. Yes, you can easily hit 16 targets on a top 5 search. I understand that. You'll probably whiff only like 1 out of 5 times or 1 out of 6 times. I don't know. But the idea was this. Why not just get something that's a little more aggressive there, since this is a hyper-aggressive deck? Let me move my head real quick. There we go. Why not just get something that's a little more aggressive there? Because notice what I'm running. This was the deck that we just saw. Okay, 4 Kid and Killer, 4 Zoro, 4 Luffy, 4 Ace. That is 16 rush cards right there. Then for the 2K counters, I'm running 4 Flampy and 4 Hiyori and 4 Satori. So 12 2K counters. And then cards that come into play from life. So they're like pseudo rush cards. 4 Kikinojo and 4 Satori. And then I've got the Luffy and Ace package that can bring the cards back in from my life to gain power for my leader. And then Momonosuke to round out the list. And like I said, Garp, I'm going to be taking this out soon, I think, for Kizaru or whatever his name. No, that's not his name. Let me type in Revo. I just had him up. Where's this guy here? Karasu. Not Kizaru. Karasu. And this is another option. So let me talk about that for a second. This list, I think, by the way, is excellent. I think this has the most potential so far out of all the lists. Out of all the decks I've tried for Sabo, this one has the most potential. However, I'm not discounting the idea of like a Revolutionary Army theme being able to work. But it comes down to this. Like, why would you want to give up these insanely powerful rushers? And the answer is you probably wouldn't. So the only other thing you might want to mess around with from there is, instead of running like the Satori, the Kikinojo, the Hiyori, and the Momonosuke package, and even these two zero-cost, 3K counter events, maybe in the place of that, what is that, 4, 8, 12, 16, and even the Garp, get rid of the Garps, 20, so about 22 cards. With those 22 cards, maybe you make a small Revolutionary Army package, especially when, so I think I told you guys at the beginning, a quick little spoiler warning, I'm going to show you guys one card coming out in OP08. Okay, this is coming out in the future, but this is a new card we can look forward to for the Revo Army decks. This is another Koala card. It's a red, 1 cost, 1,000 power, 1,000 counter, Revolutionary Army type character with Activate Main. Give your leader up to one of your characters up to 1 Rested Dawn card. So it's like Revolutionary Army's version of the starter Nami card. I don't want to spend too much time on that, and it's good that that's coming. But I guess my question is this. I think the Revolutionary Army stuff, I understand that Sabo is literally Dressrosa Revolutionary Army, but I think it's actually just more meant for Bello Betty personally. That's just me. Let me bring up yellow too. There's not many yellow Revolutionary Army cards. It's just Flaming Dragon King, Sabo, and Emporio Ivankov. And these come out, all of these come out in ST13. ST13, ST13, and ST13. But all I can say is this. I think for Bello Betty, these Revolutionary Army cards, they're much more geared for her style of like trashing a card, everything is plus 3k, getting everyone closer to 7 and swinging in. But y'all saw how Sabo can give 1 card plus 2,000 power if you have a 7k to push back to the top of your life and do those recycle effects. But it's not 3 targets like it is with Bello Betty. So I don't think, unfortunately, for those who want to play the Revolutionary Army version, I'm not saying it'll be bad. It could be very good, because like cards like Lindbergh and Morley, these are just strong cards, and especially when you're comboing it with Koala for Lindbergh, where you can basically hit a 6k with that effect if you drop down Koala as well, and then later in the game you're going to be able to buff it. Even if you are playing Sabo, you can buff this card for +2 to swing with later in the game. You guys see what I'm saying there? Yeah, there is a lot of potential here, and there's a strong banish option tied into it with Inazuma. There's a rush option with the other Inazuma, ways to cheat cards in, ways to do top 5 searches that play cards in. I have tried it. Let me show you guys what I'm working on currently for Red Yellow Sabo Revolutionary Army. this is kind of what I was working on, but I'm just going to be honest. It did not feel as strong. I even went down to like 3 Luffys and 3 Aces, so I had more room for like a pure package of, I think it was like a 30 card package or so of Revolutionary Army. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 30. Yeah, it was a 30 card package of that, a little 10 card package of the Land of Wano stuff, and then a 6 card package of, or another 10 card package of just this stuff here with Satori and the 2 brothers. But yeah. That's basically it. I honestly, I think once we get this card for, and again, this is OP08, guys. This is not coming out, or actually, excuse me, it says a promo. But we just saw the promo on the spoilers, I think, about a few days ago at the time of recording this video. So this is not going to come out for a very long time for us in the West. But for the time being, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just don't think this deck can quite, play as well. This version of the deck, I don't think it can play as well as the this version right here, the red yellow Sabo with the rushers, because this is a brutal deck, guys. I don't know if any deck can go quite as fast as this one, because you're gaining life along the way, so they can't beat you on the clock because you're just going to gain life every turn. You're going to potentially make your leader into a plus 2,000 power for the turn while gaining life from cards that can come back into play for free, like Satori and Kikinojo. You've got like one blocker that is just the amount of utility that it has with Kikinojo and Hiyori is insane, because the beautiful, like, one of the big major combos right now for yellow, for those who don't know, it is, okay, you play out Hiyori as soon as your opponent's at 3 or less life. You play out Hiyori to set your top life as Kikinojo, right? And then you get down Momonosuke the following turn after they attack you, excuse me. So they attack into you, and if they get your Kikinojo down, you get to attack with your Kikinojo that turn for 6 or 7 or however much. Then you play out your Momonosuke and push it back to your life. And even if they found a way to KO it, if your Hiyori's still alive, you can bounce it back with Momonosuke as well. And in this deck, here's the even crazier part. The crazier part about this deck is you can do it in this order, where it's like, okay, so say you set your top life card with Hiyori, right? Follow closely here, guys. You set your top life card with Hiyori, and you set it to Kikinojo, right? And then you do your turn like normal, you pass. If they don't KO your Kikinojo and they attack into you and you get this on the board, you can go like this. Attach 1 to Sabo, swing for 7 with Kikinojo, right? And then play out, what's his name here, Momonosuke, to put your Hiyori back on top of your life that you played earlier. Then push your Kikinojo to the top of your life with your Sabo and give your Momonosuke plus 2,000 power for the turn. Until the start of your next turn. So he'll be an 8,000 power blocker, and you just gained 2 life. 1 from your leader's effect and 1 from Momonosuke. And yes, that is a little like 3-card combo. You're not going to see that every game, but it doesn't matter. These cards are good on their own. Individually, these cards are good because, like, for example, Kikinojo, this is a 4-cost 6K that can gain life, and it can come in from your trigger. It's just a good card, period. And if you don't need it, I do have these, these 0-cost 3K counters to get them out of your hand. Hiyori, this is just a 2K counter always, and then you can set cards to the top of your life, like something like Satori if you're trying to get aggressive. If you're on your last life, you can set this card to your top life. Kikinojo, you guys know the drill. Or, better yet, you can set your Ace or your Luffy to the top if you have their counterpart, their 2-cost counterpart, to play them for free, the kid parts. Okay? And then, last but not least, Momonosuke. Like, yeah, this is the least relevant one if you have no other combining pieces. And it does, I have considered going down to like 3 Momonosuke and maybe go up one of these 0-cost events. But, that's just going to come down to playing preference and like see what else we can add to the deck. Because maybe there's even an argument you drop down 2 Momonosuke's and go up 2 Shirayas like we were talking about earlier for a card to add. All right, guys, that's about it. I don't have much more for you. Please do, if you have any questions, comments, please do not hesitate to listen down in the comment section below. And please do not forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, guys, peace.